Just like the song goes, they always say that girls just want to have fun. But did you know that slimes just want to adventure? Today we're going to be going over the Juiblexian race.
Welcome to the Homebrew Crew. I'm Tony, this is Sean, and today we're going over the Juiblexian by Jacky Leung.
God bless you. So today we're actually, and this was actually recently featured on a couple different outlets. This one's actually been kind of getting some steam lately.
Yeah, it has. I actually saw this one on comicbook.com, and it appeared in my Facebook feed, and of course we're always, going around the DMsguild bit.
Right.
And that's where this one's home to. This is a DMsguild race.
Yeah. And I think you'll notice why it's probably catching a lot of steam. It's definitely very different from any race that we've done so far. It has a lot of cool different features that you wouldn't really expect on another race, but it kind of makes sense for the sake of an ooze. So.
And bear with us with it too, because some of the stuff when you're reading through it, you go, wow, that's kind of overpowered. But this race does have some detriment to it as well. There are some things that are kind of interesting with it. So what is a Juiblexian?
Well, basically, if you kind of want to think of it, it's basically kind of this alien kind of venom thing that you got going where you have this oozy, pussy, whatever you want to call it, kind of attaching itself to, different bodies and hosts and, forming, kind of a humanoid of its own.
Right. This is essentially your slime race is what it is.
Yeah.
It's something that we don't really do a lot of in D&D, but it is a really cool thing. So getting into it though, and seeing what it actually has, it starts with a Constitution score of increased by 2, which is kind of neat. And then the sub races and stuff that it has does have each of their individual.
Right. So you always get the base 2 for con, and then depending on the sub race that you actually pick, it will determine what you get the other skill in.
Yeah. Speed of 30 feet, alignment is just like alignment on anything else. Could be good, could be bad. Here's what gets interesting. As an amorphous ooze, you can move through a narrow space 1 inch wide without squeezing.
It's very tiny.
It is very tiny.
Very useful as well.
But I would assume that you have to disrobe.
And I was actually about to say, you're not going to bring your longsword or your breastplate through that gap. You're going in there completely, naked, I guess, if you want to call it that.
I'm not crazy about that.
Yeah.
And then due to your lack of physical structure, the Juiblexian also has advantage on saving throws of being blinded, deafened, exhaustion, and knocked prone. Which is interesting because it actually states later that you can't be exhausted. But there's a reason for that. So if you're looking at the blob, I hate to refer to it as a blob. I'm sorry, Jackie. It's not a blob, but it sort of is. When you're looking at that, it's kind of neat because how do you put this? You don't have eyes.
Right.
And if you get knocked prone as a blob, you're still a blob.
Yeah, you don't really knock over like something like that. It's gonna bounce right back.
Try to knock over Jello.
Yeah.
Tell me what happens if you try to knock over Jello. You jiggle, but you don't fall down. And weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. So you do get that, and then you also get in there immunity to poison and a poison condition.
Something that. Basically what you're comprised of.
Yep. And then you don't need to sleep. And you can't suffer exhaustion due to a lack of rest. That's where that comes in.
Now, I will say...
Which is a lot like the Warforged.
As we were going through this, I was getting a little worried as we were kind of going through. I was like, wow, benefit. And the next part is actually interesting. So you have blind vision. Basically, you get this vision that only goes up to 60 feet. And you can only kind of hear things and use ambient sounds and to communicate and hear. But when you think about it, and they actually mention this at the end of the feature, that's the only sight you got.
Right. So you don't have dark vision. You don't have dim light that you can see in. You don't have...
You don't have regular vision.
Right. You actually don't have eyes, according to this thing, which is kind of interesting. So think about casting a spell or something that you're going to be doing, right? Yeah. So if you cast a spell and it has a range of 120 feet...
You can't do it.
No, I mean, you could cast it.
You could try, but it might not go where you want it to go.
Right, you can only see within that 60 feet. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Which is a very interesting racial trait. Besides obviously the roleplay with it, it kind of gives you this obstacle that you have to cross, like, oh, I gotta be within a certain range to actually do
right. It's like playing a mole rat.
Right, you're like, oh yeah, that's close,
So it's kind of cool with that. I mean, they do get some interesting stuff. They get Abyssal as a language. And then the sub-races get interesting. So you've got 3 sub-races with this. And each one is actually based off of a different type of ooze.
Yeah, so you may have fought this in a dark dungeon, or you may have encountered these on your adventures, but now you can actually one to play as.
Now, the first one is Corrosive, right? And this one, you increase your dexterity score by 1, and you get this Corrosive Touch.
Yeah, kind of think of it as this acidic, kind of dangerous ooze that you might have run into that's kind of beginning to burn away at your skin or armor.
Yeah. I mean, like the green slime or something like that.
Exactly.
So with the Corrosive Touch, when you make an unarmed strike, you do 1d4 plus your strength in acid damage instead of your normal damage.
Very interesting. You're so used to bludgeoning, piercing, but I mean, you're tossing yourself.
You're
so you're like,
Yeah. And then you also have Corrosive Body. So you have resistance to acid damage now, and in addition, a creature that touches you or hits you with a melee weapon within 5 feet takes an additional 1d4 acid damage, and that goes up as you level.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, but that's the only real thing that they get as far as corrosive. So it's, it's not overly done or what have you.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, the last one's my favorite, but we're going to get into Blasphemy next, right?
Yeah, so this one, kind of think of it flavoring as some kind of like elemental kind of ooze. So you get your charisma score increased by 1, and then you get this cool thing called elemental chaos. So basically, when you're not wearing armor, you gain the benefit of resistance to a damage type. But the interesting thing is, it actually changes anytime you take a long rest.
Right, and it's rolled on a chart. It's a D8 of either acid, cold, electricity. That should actually be lightning. But acid, cold, lightning, fire, electricity. Well, okay, so acid, cold, electricity, fire, lightning, poison, thunder. So I think there's a duplicate in there with electricity and lightning, but we can replace that with some other type of spell too.
Very easily done.
But if you look at that, you roll on this chart of the D8, and you see what you get.
Yeah.
Whatever that is there. So you can't like pick it and go, well, I know I'm going up against
I'm
a
going
creature
cold or something.
Right.
And it's really interesting because I imagine kind of this almost like, schizophrenic, almost kind of like personality disorder kind of ooze who's always changing every day. Like, ooh, now it's like kind of hot. Now it's kind of cold. Now it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's interesting.
But it reminds me so much of like a water weird, right? So as far as a chaotic elemental creature like that, the fact that as a chaotic creature, that it could be completely random as to what you are.
Yeah.
It ties into Fae and elemental planes.
Absolutely.
And it's a really awesome thing.
And then not to mention you do get some spell casting.
You do. You get Thaumaturgy, and you get a few other spells in there too. Color Spray. Yeah, Color Spray.
Yeah.
Color Spray and what's the other one?
You also get Web, actually.
Oh, you get Web.
The web
Okay, 5th level, which is kind of neat.
So useful spells.
Yeah, so you just kind of like that. You shoot it.
Yeah, exactly. Now, this one we actually like the most. Not to say that the other two aren't good. They're actually very good in their own way. But the mnemonic, I think, actually really captures what separates this race from other ones.
Yeah, this one has a lot of character with it. So you get the intelligence score is your +1 on that. But you also get these really cool abilities like false appearance.
Yeah.
So with false appearance with it, you can transform your appearance into something to look like something else. So like a mimic.
Yeah, and we've seen this similarly with like the changeling, for example.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you can't appear as a creature of different size.
Right. So it has to be medium size, but you can still change like things to make yourself look like another like humanoid sized creature. And it's really interesting because this slime in particular, it really kind of fits the whole like trying to become and involve itself into the host and like disguise itself.
Right, because when you look at the Oblex, which is the god of all these things, the god of slimes or what have you, which I really love that they added that kind of flavor stuff. This is definitely one that is going to adopt the traits of whatever it's touched into, which is kind of neat.
And it's very fitting for the next feature.
Right. Was that the mnemonic
echoes?
Go ahead.
So this one's really interesting. So basically, whenever a humanoid creature within 5 feet dies, you can spend your reaction to actually consume the target, so you kind of absorb it. And then,
I'm sorry, I get this. Have you ever seen that magnetic putty that when you
put my goodness,
thing
it's
in, it just kind of goes like that?
Yeah, it's a similar idea.
Yeah.
And then after you finish a long rest, you can actually change either your skill proficiency, tool proficiency, or language to one of the ones that was on the creature. See, and that's cool because it's not add. Right. Yeah,
it's replace.
The keyword is change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty neat because let's say I can see how that would work in roleplay settings. Because like if you had let's say you're fighting a bunch of orcs and you need to be able to speak Orcish.
Right.
Great. So you just kind of absorb it you eat the orc, and now all of a sudden you know how to speak Orcish.
Right. Or like let's say that like you need to form like some kind of like tool, or you need to build something. You know, if you know that the woodcutter is not too far away,
yeah,
come
you
up,
take the woodcutter.
and then you know how to do that now. It's one of the best races that you can get for $1 right now. And again, one of the main reasons why I actually really like this one is because we're taking like a typical like dungeon enemy, something that you would see in like a dark hallway, and we're turning it into something that you can actually play as, something that you can, you know, formulate character with, something that you can also use its mechanics to like solve puzzles, socially interact, and in combat as well.
Right, and see, I personally, when flavoring this one, I wouldn't necessarily have them turn into a humanoid race.
Yeah.
I would
actually probably do then.
I would just run it as a slime.
So just this kind of blob, like, you know, 5 or 6 feet tall, just kind of like wandering around.
Unless I needed to wear armor or something, then I would just kind of shape arms out or what have you, enough to put on the armor.
Yeah, and there's a lot of interesting things to think about, because, you know, I mean, like, imagine, you know, this thing, you know, swinging around a sword, or, like, casting spells, or, like, you try to bring this thing in.
A slime monk with the acid damage for...
Oh, that'd be gross.
That'd be really cool.
In both ways.
Yeah.
Or, like, trying to bring your slime companion into the tavern, you know, imagining how that would kind of end up, you know? So there's so many different cool possibilities, and I can see why this is catching steam, because we haven't really had a race like this where it's just kind of this almost a borderline monstrosity.
Right, and again with it, it's not. There's no gender to it. It's just this blob.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting. It actually, in the part where they mention names, they kind of just will usually take the name of like whoever they kind of used to absorb, or you know whatever they kind of just like take on. So you know, it's kind of this like you know this. Like unknown kind of entity, which is really cool.
Well, we really enjoyed this race, the Juiblexian, as I think it's called.
Yes.
You can definitely check that out on the DMsguild. We'll put the link below. If you've got a race or something that you want to send us for a review or just to take a look at, you can go ahead and send it to dmbrewcrew@gmail.com. Wait a minute, it's over on your side.
Over here.
There you go.
That's why I was in a different room.
Yes. Definitely send it to us at dmbrewcrew@gmail.com, or you can log on to our Discord and send it there. Remember, we stream every single week on Tuesday night, our campaign called The Maw, where we play and play test your creations live on air.
Yeah, so one day you might actually see a Juiblexian or your homebrew race or class appearing on our stream, so be sure to check that out every Tuesday.
And remember, the best campaigns are always the ones that are homebrewed. So until next time, keep brewing.